Thank you. So, first of all, I'm very happy to be here with Rayan because he's from day one of our first strategic partners at the FII Institute. The second reason is, believe me, this session is not super important because I'm underrating it. It's super important because it will be a turning point on the way you will see what is going on in the world. Neom, 2 days ago, was mentioned in the Times magazine as the world's largest project in the world. Rayan, before I introduce who you are, because you are too discreet, so people need to realize who are the people behind this project. How do you sleep?
I don't.
In charge of the crazy project like this one.
Well, first of all, Richard, thank you very much for inviting us to be here and to showcase what Neom has to the world on this platform. I think it's a pleasure and an honor to be with you. I think, as you mentioned, it is the largest project in the world, but it's very ambitious and challenging, but we get all the support to get it done. So as ambitious and as demanding the job is, my job, but as well as the rest of the organization, we are compensated by the support of the board, chaired by His Royal Highness, the Crown Prince, as well as an exceptional management team led by the CEO. And the combination of those two is really what gives me the comfort. We sleep every night thinking, what is the next problem going to come from the day we wake up? But knowing that we have the full support of the board as well as our shareholder and a management team led by some of the most exceptional people from all around the world, and you met many of them, I think that relieves a lot of the pressure and gives me a couple more hours of sleep than I could.
And you are one of them. Rayan, just for you to know, Rayan is overseeing Neom's corporate function as a deputy CEO, but as well as the Neom Investment Office, the Neom Investment Fund, the Neom Development Fund. Before, just to understand the people who are behind this amazing project, prior to taking up his role at Neom, Rayan was the managing director and the CEO of a bank, Saudi Fransi. Before that, the CEO of Savola Group. He was formerly the managing director and Saudi Arabia senior country officer at JP Morgan, senior positions at Goldman Sachs, and many more. And last but not least, Rayan is also a member of numerous boards across Saudi Arabia, including Al Aula, development company, King Salman Park Foundation, Sport Boulevard, and last but not least, you are a member of the World Economic Forum's Young Global Leaders, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
And he is a graduate of the MIT with a Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering. So behind this project, this is why I was mentioning, sorry, to highlight your curriculum. I know you don't like that, but you have amazing people behind Neom. So in few words, what is Neom?
So you've seen the video, and I'll try to demystify Neom as much as I can. Many of you have heard about it, but maybe don't know what it is from the outside. And as the video has highlighted, it's a region in the northwest of Saudi Arabia. It's the size of Massachusetts, just to give you some context, or Belgium for those who come from Europe. And it is there to really diversify, at least locally, from a Saudi Arabia perspective. It's the biggest Vision 2030 project, and it's there to diversify the kingdom's economy away from what has historically been heavily reliant on oil and gas and hydrocarbon industries. At a global level, it is there to really address global challenges, and challenges around urban sprawl, around environmental challenges, climate change, and it is a living lab to really address many of these challenges. And to be honest, many people, including people that I meet every day, actually question and challenge me personally and challenge the management team. Is it really possible that Saudi Arabia and a project within Saudi Arabia can solve global challenges? Is it really possible that Saudi Arabia can be the beacon of change when it comes to challenges that go beyond the Saudi borders. The reality is, since His Royal Highness, the Crown Prince, became the Crown Prince, he's been challenging all of us, all Saudis, to think global, and has taken away all of the mental and psychological limits to any of us to think that only our ambition is only limited to the kingdom or to the region. Our ambition now is a global ambition. And Neom is a very good validation of that. And it's already happening. You've heard His Excellency Yasser Rayan talk about it earlier. We're building the biggest green hydrogen project in the world. And it is multiple times bigger than the second largest one. This is an industry that, and this is only phase 1. Phase 2 and phase 3 are coming in Neom, and we're going to be the epicenter of green hydrogen globally. We're also changing desalination. Desalination historically has been linked to environmentally unfriendly industry. Today, we're rethinking how desalination works. We're powering desalination plants using green energy, producing zero liquid discharge, and reprocessing the brine into commercial and industrial use. So when you rethink the way water desalination works, we're actually changing the industry globally, not only in Saudi Arabia. And these are very concrete examples of why Neom is there and how Neom today is actually changing some of the key industries globally.
But what are the other challenges that our humanity is facing that you are addressing in Neom? Because you spoke about climate change, you spoke about new energy, but it's much more than that. Knowing quite well Neom, my wife was, the first time I remember a few years ago when we were present in Neom, my wife said, oh my God, this is planet B.
Yeah.
So, and you were right, by the way, we are really building a planet B.
Yeah.
So what are the other challenges that you are addressing?
Yeah. So first of all, as I mentioned earlier, we're trying to redefine how businesses coexist with nature. So everything that we're doing today in Neom has nature environment at the core of what we're doing, and I can talk about some of the principles later. Secondly, we're addressing livability challenges. And you've seen some designs of the line, and obviously the next few minutes cannot give it justice. Really what we're doing is redesigning how people could live better in the future, with less infrastructure, with less footprint to occupy, with better proximity, no cars, no CO2 emissions. All of that coming together is creating an ecosystem where we are solving challenges that exist all around the world, but people have not had the chance of having a blank canvas in the way we do, and the vision in the way our chairman does, to recreate it and experiment with it at scale like we are in Neom.
As of today, at which very practical, like thinking as an engineer, at which practical stage are you? And for our friends who are here, if they want to be part of this dream, which is a reality now, where can they jump? On which stage can they jump? On which phase? On which sub-project of Neom, which is a massive project, could they join you?
You know, I always say I was fortunate enough to have joined Neom at the time that I have, which is almost a year ago. Neom has really passed the design phase and is very heavy into execution. So today we have 2,600 employees coming from more than 80 nationalities, with actually a significant part.
Many Americans.
Yeah, our third largest nationality is US nationalities, living in Neom and delivering the execution and the vision. So we're no longer talking about CGI renders or PowerPoints or strategies. We are talking about execution today. So on the infrastructure side, all of the projects you saw in the video are projects that are currently being executed. We have more than 50,000 construction workers on the ground executing on every single one of these projects. Many of them are actually project managed by US engineering construction companies. The Bechtels, the AECOMs of the world are some of our biggest partners, and Neom alone has generated more than 3,000 jobs for the engineering and construction industry out of the US. On the investment side, we're investing in the green hydrogen project with Air Products, a large US company, along with Aqua Power. We have signed agreements with Marriott, Sindala Island, which will be the first island to open in Neom. When I'm extending an open invitation to everyone here and everyone listening, to come when Sindala opens early 2024, to stay in one of the Marriott hotels, which obviously is a US company. And we're building a large-scale green data center in Oxagon, and our anchor tenant is Oracle, so in partnership with Oracle. All of this is actually happening as we speak. The data center will be open in the next couple of months. The green hydrogen project construction has already started. We already spent more than $7 billion in CapEx in 2022. And over the last 3 years, we extended $3 billion plus in contracts to US-based companies. So you can see the economic impact of it extending not only the kingdom, but to the rest of the world through the capital that we're spending.
And how will you attract sustainable capital investment precisely? What is your value proposition?
Yeah, when we look at Neom, it is a unique opportunity to create long-term sustainable capital while at the same time creating an impact to the rest of the world. So it's a balanced approach between economic development and economic returns, but at the same time creating impact that goes beyond Neom. When we think of the value proposition, if I were to summarize it, I would say, one, we as a special economic zone, we're creating regulation and a regulatory design with zero legacy that is fit for purpose and fit for the future. This is a huge benefit that we have when we start with no legacy. Secondly, which we don't talk about as much, is the location. And some of you here are real estate developers, so location is, you understand how important location is.
Location.
It is at the crossroads of 3 continents, very close to major population areas, 6 hours away from 40% of the globe, and actually benefits from beautiful weather compared to the rest of the Gulf.
Wind, the sun.
Wind and the sun is the third point, which is sustainability and the environment at the center, and actually a driving factor in everything that we do. 100% renewable energy region at this scale, never been done before. And we can only do it given the natural resources that we have there, which is not oil, is strong solar radiation and strong wind at night. So it's a perfect balance between solar energy powered in the daytime and wind in the evening that will deliver on this ambition of 100% renewable energy. So when you think of these parameters coming together, it is a very, very unique proposition that is going to be offered to the world. It is a proudly Saudi project led by our visionary Crown Prince, but it is delivered to the world. So the population that are going to live there are not only Saudi, and everything there is designed to attract the best capital and best talent from all over the world.
Each time I'm with you, I see a lot of international experts in environment. How do you address this, the impact on what you are building on the local environment?
So when we, as I said earlier, how the environment drives everything that we do. Other than the fact that it's going to be 100% renewable energy powered region, 95% of the Neom landmass is kept as a nature reserve. And in that landmass, we're re-greening Neom with a commitment to build or to plant 100 million trees and shrubs by 2030. Already more than 1 million of those have been planted. We're rewilding Neom with animals and species that have not lived there for the last 100 years. We have oryxes and ibexes and ostriches now released in a protected environment in Neom. And we're also exploring the sea and the reefs. And we're building some of the most advanced reef research and reef regeneration facilities within Neom to protect the environment that we have been blessed with. And it's one that fortunately has been untouched, at least from a development standpoint in Neom. So in developing all of these commercial development around the environment, we are ensuring that the environment is very well protected, and then we're not destroying, we're leaving it behind much better than we picked it up.
You are reinventing the future in Neom, and can you tell us more about all the sectors? Because don't want our friends to think that you are just a big construction machine. Yeah. You are on media, you are on tourism, you are on sports. Can you tell us more about all these sectors?
That's a very good point. I think we talk a lot about the physical infrastructure of Neom and all the development that is being built, but Neom is not a real estate project. Neom is a new economy being created in the kingdom. And the way this new economy is going to be powered is through 15 sectors that we have identified to be the job creators, to be the sources of innovation: healthcare, biotech, financial services, tech and digital, media, culture, manufacturing, mobility, which is a big theme in Neom. All of these sectors are sectors that are led by some of the global best experts to drive the next generation of innovation in these sectors. And those are the sectors that are going to attract the best talent from around the world to come and work and live in Neom, because it is an opportunity to create something that has never been done before.
In Miami, as you know, sport and media are very important. So you are hosting Winter Olympics.
Yes.
And you are already having a very active media sector. Can you tell us more about it?
Yeah, actually, sports and media are the two sectors that have been very heavily activated even before Neom reaches its end state. So on the media front, for instance, we've produced more than 25 productions over the last 18 months, including a big Hollywood movie called Desert Warrior, starred by Anthony Mackie. We offer excellent subsidies and rebates for the production houses to come and produce in Neom, and it's been working. It is creating a lot of traffic, a lot of buzz, and actually real production coming out of Neom. On the sports front, we're blessed with beautiful nature and beautiful coast and a very nice sea and good winds. So we did the kite surfing global competition in Neom a few months ago, as well as the beach games. So we work with what we have today to deliver an activation that doesn't have to wait till the end state is over. And that's been working very, very well in those two sectors, the sports and the media sector.
One last question, Rayan. Now, do you know why you took the job or not?
You know, Neom is difficult.
A year ago, you didn't have the choice.
Yeah, Neom is very difficult to understand from the outside in, okay? So when I got in and I was told, you know, it's a complicated beast, first couple of months, I was like, you know, actually, it's easy. I get this. But then the third month, I found that I was only scratching the surface, and I didn't understand the depth of everything that is happening there. It's not until the third, let's say, call it 2-month period, so by my 5th and 6th month, is really when I started grasping Neom. And I don't mean this, and many people say this about many jobs, but this in this case it's quite unique. And I don't mean this in a cliche way, because it may come across as such. It is really one of those once-in-a-lifetime opportunities to be in the middle of physical building something that is going to be left for generations to come. I see this every day with my kids. You know, Neom actually has a significant appeal to the younger generation. Many of them really associate and relate to the idea that Neom is there to deliver. And my kid can't wait to be there, can't stop talking about it, and can't be more proud that you know, their dad is associated with a project of this nature.
Ladies and gentlemen, Rayan Fayez, on behalf of Neom. And I cannot encourage you enough to be back here in this room on April 17, because Neom has an amazing program called Discover Neom, and they will stop in Miami on April 17, and you will really spend an amazing day by discovering Neom from inside and from outside.
This was just an appetizer. You're going to see the full main course, 3-course meal when we come in 17th.
Ryan, thank you very much for your time. Thank you.